want to personally thank Caitlin Clark for lifting up our sport. She carried a heavy load for our sport.
Honestly, no disappointment. I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that,
and she will be, since the USA team has finally acknowledged that they regret passing up Caitlin Clark. After all, who would have guessed that she would not have made the cut in the first place? It's not like we've been pleading with Team USA to avoid making this terrible error for a long time, whether you're new to women's basketball or have been a fan for a long time. Now, they're not only making the error, but also paying for it and saying they're sorry. According to the Indiana coach, Clark informed her that they had unleashed a monster. Sports columnist and best-selling author Christine Brennan has been following this story for weeks. In her USA column, she wrote, "In the 40 years I've covered the Olympics, I've seen some bad team and athlete selection decisions, but this is the worst by far." However, we probably shouldn't be surprised because we've known for years that the people running the Olympic Games are the last amateurs left. She will eventually make an Olympic team, and I agree that she will, as the USA already regrets not choosing her as one of the primary reasons they should regret it, according to Jam Hill, a contributing writer for The Atlantic, who stated that people need to stop worrying and placing so much importance on every single choice. Stephen A. Smith eventually made a point that I agreed with when he stated that comprehending the marketing side of sports is essential, which is how they failed on the marketing front.
I ain't apologizing. You make decisions, marketing. I want people watching. I want eyeballs. I want advertising dollars. Why? Because he'll get paid. Y'all will get paid. And guess who else will get paid? You see where I'm coming from? That's what it's about. Stop acting otherwise. We know this. You don't sit up there and pass on Caitlin Clark. It was stupid, Team USA. It was a dumb decision. Everybody, there's always somebody that's a sacrificial lamb. I respect the hell out of Rebecca Lobo and what she broke down. I understand it. It was a stupid decision because it compromises what your ultimate goal is, which is to elevate the WNBA brand.
I agree with SAS, but I disagree with this clip I'm going to show you because it shows that Diana Taurasi was strongly opposed to Caitlin Clark, making a significant impact from the beginning. Although I don't think he put it the best way, I do agree with him that you don't need a business degree, a marketing major, or even to attend college to see that Caitlin Clark draws viewers. If she's drawing viewers, then adding her to the Team USA women's basketball team, which is watched worldwide, would only help women's basketball thrive.
Reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Suggested without mentioning Clark that her success at the University of Iowa wouldn't translate to the WNBA right away. In addition, there was a rumor that Cheryl Reef had a grudge against Clark during the Minnesota Lynx matchup with the Indiana Fever, and it was clear from her behavior that she wasn't a huge fan of Caitlin Clark.
It's all around the league. But as a coach of the home team, there's going to be a lot of people cheering for that other side.
I'll get two shits.
How about one?
Not even one shit.
Now, let me tell you why Caitlin Clark was left off of Team USA for the 2024 Olympic Games. Although marketing played a significant role in the selection process, a key executive revealed that Clark's popularity was not taken into account. We were all shocked to learn that the 22-year-old was left off the Team USA squad, and now we have an explanation thanks to Jen Roddy, chair of the Women's National Team Committee. She explained that a comprehensive list of criteria was used to decide who USA Basketball and Cheryl Reeve would travel to Paris in July, and that popularity and television ratings were not factors. Given that Con Clark is currently the most popular player in the WNBA, selling out venues and drawing sizable crowds, this fact dealt her two serious blows. It may seem strange, especially considering that the entire Olympic Games hosting process is a significant marketing campaign for the host nation. For us, it has taken 3 years. Reports to the press, Caitlin and the other players that were left off the team were assessed based on their entire body of work. Jen Rohr clarified that although Caitlin Clark's situation was unusual, she was pleased that the committee only considered the selection criteria and excluded marketability and TV viewership. Rohr stressed that the committee's task was to choose the 12 players based on these predetermined criteria. Although there may have been discussions about taking into account variables like TV viewership or popularity, those were not part of the committee's duties. Instead, they were told to disregard outside influences and adhere to the set criteria.
What were the criteria used?
11 factors were taken into account when choosing the 12 players who would travel across the Atlantic to try to win an 8th consecutive gold medal and a 10th since 1984. U.S. citizenship was one of the criteria when this process began 3 years ago, when Caitlin Clark was still a member of the NCAA. Position playing versatility and availability, adaptability to the team concept, coachability, and leadership, how effectively they adapt to playing internationally, and whether they can help their team win. It's unclear which criteria Clark didn't meet, but she said she isn't disappointed and plans to use this as motivation moving forward. Another reason Caitlin Clark wasn't included on Team USA basketball team was supposedly to avoid upsetting fans with a lack of playing time. However, the real issue seems to be that the older WNBA players are trying to protect their possessions and don't want her to succeed, is despite the fact that Diana Taysai, Candace Parker, and Brian Stewart all played for Team USA before they had ever played a single WNBA game. So these players did what Caitlin Clark was trying to do. But despite this, Clark handled the situation with class. Although Caitlin Clark didn't make the U.S. women's basketball team for the Olympics, she's not letting it get her down. She's been actively cheering on Team USA during the 2024 Paris Olympics and has been watching as much as she can. Caitlin Clark, who plays for the Indiana Fever, mentioned that she even joked about canceling her practice to watch more of the games. When asked if she was disappointed, Clark said she's actually motivated. She sees this time as an opportunity to work harder and prepare for the next chance. 4 years comes fast, she said, reflecting on how quickly time passes. She's using this as a drive to start working towards her goal of being on the team in the future. Recently, Team USA played against Japan, and the attendance numbers highlight a notable issue for comparison with 27,200 spectators. The Spain versus China match had the biggest turnout. When a fan held up a sign saying, "You need Caitlin Clark to beat us," it became even more hilarious. Nigeria versus Australia drew 24,023 viewers, while the USA game drew only 13,040 live viewers, which is more than 8,000 fewer than the average attendance in the early days of the games. It's funny because even though Team USA defeated Japan 102-76, Caitlin Clark's presence could draw in more viewers. The situation demonstrates how hard it was to keep her off the team, and the justification that they didn't want her fans to be upset about her playing time seems less plausible given how much attention Clark received on social media. In an interview with NBC Sports, Staley, a member of the selection committee, even apologized for the choice. During the Olympics, Mike also, according to Staley, Clark's recent exceptional performances would have made her a solid contender for the team if they were making the selection right now. Since then, Clark has averaging 17.9 points and 10.4 assists per game, including a game-high 19 assists. Staley's remarks imply that Clark's rejection from the Olympic squad may have been a lost chance, particularly in light of the way her participation could have increased interest in Team USA's pursuit of an 8th consecutive gold medal. That's all for today. What do you think about her exclusion and the effect it has on Team USA's performance and viewership? Do you think Caitlin Clark will make it to the Olympic team in 4 years? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay up to date on all the latest news on sports and more. Clark and the Indiana Fever will play next on August 16th against Diana Taurasi and the Phoenix Mercury, so that should be an interesting one to watch. We appreciate your time and hope to see you at the next one.